Hey guys, Savage Joy with Real Progressives. So tonight is kind of an impromptu show. I didn't schedule a candidate because last night we had 5 primaries. So with all that, I just figured I would do just a regular show and kind of discuss with you guys what is on your mind and also the results that happened. So my first thought, of course, everyone is blowing up about Alexandria, as they should, because what happened was absolutely insane. A 19-year, neolib, who's basically number 4 in the Senate, who also is was pretty much next in line for Pelosi's job, was totally defeated by a 28-year-old girl who has never held office. She worked in a Bernie campaign office as a volunteer. So that's like world record book insane. So of course, and she's a proud member of DSA, which is even more exciting because, the damn commies coming to take over everything. So maybe now people will actually be forced to learn what the word socialist means. Not totally sure. But, I was fortunate enough to, I spoke at an event where Alex had spoken as well. So we met that night, and then I also had Alex on my show. So we discussed for about an hour everything from her platform to how she grew up. She is the best kind of candidate in the respect that she's you and I. She's definitely the 99%. She's, a mom. She worked as a bartender right before she signed up to run. I mean, these are the best candidates because they're us. They want to replace people who are bought and sold. I think now the Dems have a rude awakening. They have before, and they've gotten over it real quick. But hopefully this time it'll stick, because the one thing that is in common with every single progressive that's winning is they don't take corporate money. You are not progressive if you take money from corporations or Soros or any of those people. You are not progressive. It's that simple. It's not just about platform. It's about who your donors are. She was outspent 10-1. 10-1. But she's actually the epitome of an example of they have the money, we have the people. I've interviewed almost 90 candidates so far. 90 from across the country. It's crazy. It's just bananas to think about it. I have never seen people bust their ass for a candidate like her since Bernie. I mean, it was crazy. People in New York were hitting me up telling me, I've already gotten 3 calls about Alex. I've already had my door knocked on twice about Alex. This was like Bernie reinvigorated. Not that I'm comparing her to him, but just the energy, the actual energy, just seeing that back, seeing people actually hype to go canvassing and to go phone banking and to actually text people articles and, anything like that. It was amazing to actually be there and see. I mean, just see this energy come back. After California, a lot of us were defeated as hell. I did not let myself get Excited yesterday. I was rooting for Alex, and I was really rooting for Ben Jealous. I've met him, and he's a wonderful person, and he's not bought. He was one of the very first public figures to come out and support Bernie. He's just a good person, and I think that he can make a lot of good change. So I was supporting both of them. So I was nervous, but I didn't want to get my hopes up, because out of those 90 candidates, I've personally endorsed 6. And the last 2 that I had on my show, well, I had them both second times, Stephen Jaffee and Gail McLaughlin. I poured my heart into those 2 people. I was sure they were going to win. I was positive. I would have bet every penny I own, but people didn't show up. 21% of people voted in California. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. So that being said, I didn't want to get my hopes up. So I was like, does Alex have the people? Absolutely. But, does she have the people in her district? Don't know. That's something that I think we as progressives need to be more conscientious of. You may see a candidate and it may say, oh, they have 20,000 followers. Awesome. How many are in their state? How many are in their district? We can't be presumptuous that this means, oh, she's huge, she's going to win. Doesn't work that way. We're seeing this over and over with progressive candidates that have huge followings who aren't winning. Amy Villela, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? I've had her on. She's amazing. I adore her. I personally endorse her. How could she lose? How? But people didn't get their asses to the poll. I mean, it's really that simple. It's people are assuming they don't need to vote, or they're defeated, so they don't vote. I totally understand feeling defeated. I go through that all the time. And, I'm in an interesting situation because I actually interview so many candidates. I connect with so many people, and I see everything that goes into those races. So when I'm talking to a candidate, even though I may not specifically agree with everything they're saying, or honestly even necessarily vote for them myself, the fact of the matter is, I connect with them in the sense that they're telling me they left their job of 5 years to campaign. They poured out all of their savings to campaign. It makes you think about what is actually happening behind the scenes. It's not just like you sign up to run and you buy some poster board and, you get some signatures. That's not what this is about. Progressive campaigning is 24/7. I mean, I think one of the mistakes Crowley made, which a lot of incumbent neolibs make, is that they expect to win solely on name recognition. And a lot of times they do. But the fact of the matter is, they don't do commercials then. They don't send mailers. They don't have door knockers. They don't do phone calls because they don't think they need to. So that's when we have to take the opportunity to do those things, because we know that we are the media. We learned that shit in 2016. If we don't say it, not a damn other place will. Because when you're showing a freaking empty podium, when there's a candidate running who has like over 40,000 people in an auditorium, or, and you're filming a freaking empty podium waiting for Trump to come out, I think that's kind of symbolic of what kind of things you're going to be showing on the news. I don't watch MSM. I haven't for 2 years. But people were posting screenshots of, CNN and stuff. And it was just such a good feeling to watch them be forced to talk about, this young Latina who is a socialist and a Bernie-crat, and, she's for health, Medicare for all, and making them talk about this shit. It's just so awesome to just, it's very delicious to watch that. And my buddy Jay is totally spot on. When I had Alexandria on to do the interview, we discussed how, tricks that the Dems play, the undemocratic Dems. A lot of you guys know in New York, 120,000 people were purged from the voter rolls back in 2016. They completely admitted it. And, nothing ever happened because of it, of course. But they admitted it, which was really surprising. But something Alexandria and I talked about was that she was actually finding out information that the Dems in her area were trying to redistrict her district so that not as many people of color were in it. Like, does that blow your mind? I mean, I shouldn't be shocked anymore, but they wanted to cut out people of color because they knew she would likely get those votes. So, they belittle us all the time. We get called basement dwellers and, all this shit. And we get, we just get put down and talk shit about all the time. But they are so threatened by us, they will stop at nothing to make sure we don't win. And then if we do win, usually they're threatened for a little bit and then they just go right back to normal. So basically, it's our job to make sure it doesn't go back to normal. It's our job to keep up the momentum that was last night. That's our job. We are obligated. We cannot just sit there and be like, oh, blue wave. Fuck the blue wave. I want a progressive wave. I don't care if it's independent, green. I don't give a fuck. Just give me progressives. I'll campaign for progressives, period. You don't take corporate money. You want to have immigration reform. You believe in Medicare for all or universal health care. You don't support private prisons. These things, you do those things, sign me up. But I really want to, just kind of point out to people that this victory was not just because Alexandria is a cool person to vote for. There's a lot of amazing candidates who I would have done anything to be able to vote for who did not win. This is about a grassroots movement. This is about hundreds and hundreds of volunteers fighting for this candidate. That's how this happened last night. That it wasn't, we don't have the media as far as MSM. Where do a lot of voters still to this day get their information? On shit like Clinton News Network. They're not going to show people we'd vote for. We all know that. So we need to make it known. And especially people who are like 40s and older, from the ones I've spoken with, the most easiest way to get their vote is to talk to them. Because a lot of them just say, I'll vote for Democrat. I've heard of him. So the more that we literally explain to them, look, this is how it is. This is what they stand for. You go to their house, you show up. I have never not voted for someone who showed up to my house. Because why would I not support effort? You come to my house, you take time answering my questions, you're progressive, you got my vote because you care. You cared enough to come here to talk to me I mean, it makes me so bummed out when I have candidates saying that they can't find anyone to canvass for them. Like, what are you talking about? Are you for real? Like, not everyone has time to canvass. I get it. But there are so many other things we can do. So many. Not even just canvassing and phone banking. I know a lot of people have phone anxiety. Trust me, I get it. But there's text banking. There is going to coffee shops and putting flyers on the bulletin board. There is sending articles and YouTube interviews to your Facebook friends in their states through Messenger. These are things that are so easy. Look, you're going to go to the store. You're already going to be there. Bring some flyers. We have to do more. It seems like there's just not enough people doing what we need to be doing. The unfortunate thing is, after these primaries, it's 2020. So we either have good people in Congress or we don't. This past, from 2016 to 2018, all we heard is there's going to be this blue wave and there's, over 2,000 Bernie-crats running, and we're so hype, and everyone's going to get together, and everyone's going to vote, and then we start seeing losses. And, of course, losses are expected, but they're losses of people that we were so sure were going to win. So that's kind of a rude awakening. We need to stop that from happening, because once these primaries go by, that's it. And people want to keep talking about 2020. Well, we're not going to elect a progressive in 2020 unless we elect progressives now. That's the way government works. We keep all these neo-lib, and these centrists and Republicans and all those basically one and the sames. We keep all those. You think they're going to actually vote for Bernie or Nina or Tulsi? Yeah, right. The more progressives we get in now, the better chance we have with shit being passed. Now today, dude says he's going to, retire from his position, and now, everybody's flipping out because now, Trump is saying he's going to appoint someone. That's scary, because the dude, it seems like mixed reviews of the dude who's, now I forget his name, I'm looking it up. But the guy who just announced he's retiring, I'm looking at the comments. Do you guys think he is retiring due to Alexandria? Put a yes or no in the comments, because people are saying that he's just like, he doesn't want to fight, against progressives, or he's threatened by progressives. It's kind of interesting that it happened like hours after she won. So let me know what you guys think about that. I digress. But so anyway, let me see. So I wanted to, I don't know, Steve. I don't know how I feel about that either. I think it was kind of coincidental, but I'm definitely curious as to what people think. I wanted to do this video primarily just to encourage people to keep this going. We have had, in the past 60 days, the past 43 days, we've had 30 primaries in 43 days. That it's been crazy. I've been doing literally like 8 candidates a week. It's been nuts. Oh, and I work full time. But that being said, July is pretty much our month off. There are no primaries in July at all. I'll be interviewing people whose primaries are in August. So there are some in August, and there are also some in September. September also, New York was yesterday, but New York is split between state and federal. So New York will also have another election in September, and then the general in November. So we definitely still have some primaries coming up. We have some potential wins. I do want to challenge you guys. I would love to see, even if you do 30 minutes a week, pick one candidate, even if it doesn't have to be canvassing, phone banking, whatever. Pick one candidate, and for 30 minutes a week, do one thing for them until their primary. So for me, I am a very huge supporter of Tamborine Borelli. She is in Washington. I will send people the interview we had. I'll send them links to every single person in Washington or mutual friends, things like that. You can do little things like that that will add up, because each time you send, let's say you send 10 people an article, I guarantee at least one of them is going to post it on their page. And that's how we get votes. Exposure. I'm not even a journalist. I did this show to give people a platform, to actually give exposure to candidates who weren't getting exposure anywhere else. So it's important. I challenge you guys to do that, even if it's just one candidate. Doesn't even have to be your state. That's the beauty of the phone dialer and stuff like that. Now, you don't even have to be in the same state. You can text bank, everything like that. So just get active. Please don't let the momentum from last night die. I don't want it to die. I'm worried it will, because that's kind of how it seems to be going lately, understandably. But we can't get this time back. We can lose more and more primaries, but once they're over, they're over. Then 2020 comes. So we need to do the best we can right now. I hear it all the time. When good candidates lose their primary, people come on the show in the comments and say, "Oh, I wish I would have phone banked." Oh, well, you didn't. I wish means nothing. I mean, don't let it get to that shit. We need to work now. There's slacktivists and activists. Activism is not a spectator sport. If we want real progressives to win, we need to make them win. So much of this is in our power to make it happen. These people are devoting their lives to their campaigns, so we need to do what we can to get them where they need to be. It's really that simple. I know this is freestyle tonight, but yeah. So and always, I see some comments with names in the comments. If you guys have any candidates who are progressive, like real progressive, like no corporate money, Medicare for all, like real progressive, and they have not had their primary yet, or they're green or indie, coming, so they don't have a primary and they're going to November, please feel free to PM me their name. I don't always get a chance to look through the comments of all my shows. So it's easier if you PM me. Steve, I had Jovanka on. I love her to pieces. She'll be coming back on closer to November. but yeah, feel free. Send me PMs of any candidates. I do Congress, Senate. I don't do like city council and things like that. I like to focus on the bigger races. But yeah, always give me a shout out. That's not a problem at all. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as I said, just please just keep up the momentum and keep fighting. November's, it's kind of around the corner and it's kind of worrisome at this point. So I see actually my Friday guest in the comments, Brian Abramson. I hope I said that right. He is an independent from Minnesota, and he is a Berniecrat, and he'll be joining me Friday night at 9 Eastern. We're going to have some really good discussions. I'm sure we've been Facebook friends for probably like 2 years. Yeah, Lori, you know, I definitely post stuff like that. It's a big compilation, and a lot of times I ask on my personal page, I need names, and then I have everybody compile it, and then I type it up. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely a really good idea, because there's so many good candidates out there, and I get some amazing recommendations. I even get candidates who reach out to me themselves, which is always exciting, if there's someone I'd actually want to interview. There's been a few times when I've had to say, yeah, so that gets kind of uncomfortable. But I digress. Anyway, so I will see you Friday night at 9. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. You're amazing. I love seeing so many of your names pop up. But thanks, guys. Much love.